You open up YouTube and the first thing you see is Iman Gadzhi making more millions than he was already doing, or Andrew Tate buying a new supercar.
What color's your Bugatti?
Maybe you have been crafting, if not longer than Justin Waller, Andrew Tate, but instead of that, you have no fancy holidays, no fancy watches, no fancy cars, no nothing. And you think, I'm doing something wrong. You made some progress, but no big bank balance. And you think, this progress of mine, it's not what I was hoping. I mean, it took you a few years. You must be an idiot, you think. They make it look so easy, and if you can't do it, then there's only one thing, it's that you're an idiot. And that shame gets you. I'm a failure. When you see these young kids, you think that you're getting old, you're running out of time. I remember just before my 20th birthday, someone at work came to me and he said, wow, you're such a young guy, you're doing something consistent. I was just like 20 years old, and I thought, I'm losing my teenage years now. And of course now I'm 30 plus and look back at my 20-year-old self and laugh about it. However, I still feel old. I was talking to some prospects on LinkedIn a few years ago, and a gentleman in his 60s came to me and he wanted to have a conversation about my background. He asked me midway how old I was. I said I was 34, and he said, straight up, I don't do business with children. Stop bothering me. You know, when you think about it, Alexander the Great passed away at 32. And no matter what other people think, if they tell you that you're young, you still feel old. And on top of that, if you see these young influencers on the internet, that makes you even feel worse. You think there's no time for me anyway, I can just give up. I'm a failure. I can just get a normal job. I go into vices. I can do some cigarettes, some booze, some drugs, some alcohol. You will become victim of all these vices. And if you can relate to anything what I just said to you, then the rest of the video is straight for you. First off, progress is not going the speed that you want to, which is very frustrating. I personally got my first taste of quick money when Justin Waller recommended The Real World for me. Back then it was called Hustler University. I did the crypto course in a time where cryptocurrencies were going up. I tasted my first quick money. But understand, before this, the most I made every month after taxes was not even $2,000. And then after I bought Bitcoin for $5,000, sold it at $10,000, invested the other $5,000 in VeChain, I had the strategy of selling and buying cheaper. In my first month, I made $2,000. And I was doing this for a few months. At some point, I reached $3,000. And after 4 months, I thought this is a consistency which I can do. I found myself a cash flow cow. I don't need a job anymore. I can do this. And then some fatal flaw in my character even developed. I actually thought I could do this consistently, and I actually thought that I was the reason. Why don't poor people sell their stuff on eBay and Amazon and invest the rest in Bitcoin? Even though I never did that myself. And before I got consistent thoughts like that, the whole market fell. So this gave me the opportunity to allow the 2 toughest years financially in my life. Every single business I started failed. Every single week, I had struggles to pay the bills. And I will never forget one morning after 18 months of financial issues, I noticed all the financial gurus, we were young or we were hyping everything up, they either went on a hiatus or they switched their niche from cryptocurrency to AI. You know, you feel bad enough if you don't do anything in your life. But imagine that if you're doing the work and you're putting in the hours and you still fail at the stuff that you were doing, and you barely learn anything about it. It is a completely different feeling of shame. And as much as I never want to feel that experience again, I'm grateful for that experience, because now I can be grateful for every little win in my life. It carved me in personality like a killer instinct, like I have been through the worst financially. I can do this. To a point where you're not afraid of financial failures because you know you can handle this. It does mold into your character. People are definitely attracted to people who have been through the lows. And if you're now at the position where you're financially struggling, know this, you will get out of it and you will get better out of it. There's a reason why people have no respect for people who win the lottery or who inherited their money. There's a character lacking of these people. Intrinsically, we all know that they haven't built any character. Even though despite the fact I was better in business, I made actually less money than in the start of the beginning. And the process, I believe, takes as long as it needs to. For some people, it might be an overnight success like Hamza or Iman Gadzhi. And for others, it will be a multi-year struggle. And you can definitely make it in a few years, but you have to learn something which took me for years to learn, and that is focus. There's a reason why they put blinders on horses. That's a condition for them to focus. But you will never outcompete someone who is doing 8 hours, 10 hours, maybe 12 hours a day on one single topic, one single niche. You're just getting good at it. So the question I want to get back to is, did Justin Waller scam me? Well, it's very difficult. On his level, everything seems to be going very easily, and maybe he cannot relate to the people who are struggling financially. And maybe intentionally or not, he says not to put the blinders on. Then again, If you want to start a business, I would not recommend you anything else in the real world, because this is the easiest way to have all these skills. I just wish someone told me to just pick one niche and stick on it for a while. And that's it. I will give you more insights next time.